Professor G-Man Lopo.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the reviewees of Advanced Review Solutions, no? And also to my students. I will discuss today about the basic economic concepts. Alright, so what are the basic or concepts of economics, di ba? Kasi nga ito ay part ito ng ating coverage, no, in the board exam. Okay? Alright, so I will discuss later about the concept, the supply and demand, no, the equilibrium, and also the basic, no, about micro and macroeconomics. Alright, sige, let's begin. Alright, what do you mean of economics? Alright, so economics is basically the fundamentals economic problem. Alright, economics is the fundamental economic problem is scarcity, diba? Scarcity of resources. Okay? The fact that human wants and needs cannot be fully satisfied with the available limited resources reflects the definitions of scarcity. Alright. So, anong ibig sabihin yan, no? When you say, or when you discuss about economics, scarcity of resources, diba? Kulang ang resources natin. Alright. Doon pumapasok ang economics. How your customer, or how customer, at the same time the people, no, will satisfy the needs and wants, 'di ba? Yan yung laging definitions of economics, no. All right. Because available resources are never enough to satisfy human wants and needs, choices are necessary, 'di ba? Tayo ay mapili, no? Even though na scarce ang ating resources, pero there are times that you can be able to choose, no? Alright, kung ano yung gusto natin gawin, or kung ano yung gusto natin. Okay? That's why economics is a social science, diba? That studies the choices in terms of individuals. Alright. So meaning, individuals, business firms man yan, government man yan, okay? Or in any other parang entities, no? That eventually cope with scarcity. Simply, no, put economics as the study of allocations of scarce economic resources. Yan. From the business perspective, no, economics is concerned with studying the production, distribution, consumptions, goods and services. Alright, take note of this one, no, to maximize the desired outcomes. Yes, that's the meaning of economics, no. Again, for the business perspective, economics is concerned with studying the production, distribution, and consumptions of goods and services to maximize the desired outcome. Alright. So, kaya lang, no, ito yung ating basic questions when you say about economics. What to produce, how to produce, and whom to produce for. Okay, paano, kailan, or kanino, and ano ang ipoproduce natin. Alright. That's why, very important here, no, to consider in terms of economics is the traditional domain of economics, or the divisions of economics. Alright. It is divided between microeconomics, alright, economics of individual actions, and macroeconomics, economics of the entire nation. Again, micro for special, for specific, for individual, while macro is for the entire nation, or for kalahatan, overall, no? Due to the steadily increasing economic transactions among countries, international economics has become relevant area of study of economics. By the way, in the board exam, ang mga tanong nandito is more on theoretical. Yes, mga theoretical questions lang naman ang tinatanong sa board exam. Alright. So, paano yun? No? So, there are three kinds or divisions of economics. No? Number one, microeconomics. As discussed kanina, yan ay for specific purpose. No? It's the study of choices that individuals, households, or business firms make, the way these choices interact and the influences that government exert on these choices. So, ano yung mga sample ng ating microeconomics? No? Demand and supply, prices and outputs, and market structures. So, meaning it is more on micro, no? Meaning specific or more on individual. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng microeconomics. Alright. So, ano naman yung number 2? Number 2 is your macro. Okay. So, ito naman ay kalahatan. No? Is the study of the effect on the national economy. Take note of the word. National economy and the global economy of national and global economy of the choices that individuals, household, business, and governments make. No? So, what are the major areas of macro? Of course, national income, okay, aggregate supply and demand, employment, and inflation. So, kabuuhan, no? Ito yung ating discussion about, di ba? Naalala pa yung risk and return? Yes. So, ito ay more on systematic, meaning it is more on the market related. Alright, yan. Okay, so, yan ang ibig sabihin ng ating macroeconomics. Alright. So, next, you have also international economics, no? Or economics. Is the study, of course, from the word itself, international, is the study of economics activities that occur between nations and outcomes that result from these activities, no? Major areas of this, of course, more on international, diba? Balance of payments, currency, exchange rates, or globalization. So, ito ay more on the international, no? From the word itself, international economics. Okay? Okay? Alright. So, take note of this class, ha? In the board exam, usually, mga ano lang yan, definitions of terms. Alright. Sige. Next. Alright. Next naman, very important also that in the board exam, we need to discuss about capitalism, no? Or the free market economy, no? So, what do you mean of this one, no? The nature of this economy at micro, macro, and international level will depends on the political environment or economic system within which economic activities takes place. Yes, no? Nagdidepende yan sa ating economy, sa ating economic system. So, in other words, nagdidepende yan sa ating government. Yes. Alright. So, labor, capital market, no? And entrepreneurship starter. Alright. So, yan. So, but before that, what do you mean of capitalism? No, so capitalism is the free market, no, economic system where individuals and business firms determine production, distribution, and consumptions of goods and services in an open or free market. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng ating capitalism, no? So resources are privately owned rather than state-owned. Yes. Also, economic decisions are made also primarily by individuals and business firm rather than by the state. Yes. Okay. The price of goods and services also is based on the supply and demand. Ayan. Take note, class, ha. Nandyan na yung supply and demand. So, we will discuss later about the supply and demand. Alright. So, example, market economy rather than through the central planning or command economy. Alright. But before that, what are the factors of production? Ano bang kailangan natin, no? Because of this economics? Of course, land, natural resources, diba? Labor, workers, capital market or money market, diba? And also your entrepreneurship starter. Yan, very important is that is the 4, which is basically the land, labor, capital, all right? Entrepreneurship starter. All right. So, yan ang importante sa atin, no? Especially in terms of our economics. All right. Alright, and also, very important also is the factors of productions na how it is related, no, into our income. Sabi nila, to earn an income, individuals sell the services of the factors of production they own. Sabi daw, land, of course, yung land natin ay pwede natin iparenta, diba? Land earns rental and royalties, yes. Capital earns interest, no, and dividends and rentals, yes. Labor earns wages and salaries, yes. And also, of course, kayo ay nagtatrabaho or you have an entrepreneurial mindset, of course, to earn your profit. Yan. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng ating economics, no? In terms of this subject, no? And also in the board exam. Alright. In terms of the economic products, diba, goods and services that are useful, scarce, and transferable is also very important, diba? Also command a price because they are scarce. Again, scarcity is very important. Is very parang to consider in terms of your economics, okay? Or economics. You have also your services, diba? Ikaw ay nagtatrabaho, diba? Work performed by someone, no? Home repair, concerts, haircuts, diba? Why? Because of the entrepreneurial mindset to earn money, diba? That's our goal in life, to become an entrepreneur to earn money. Tama ba? Yes. Also goods, diba? You deliver goods to your customers to earn profit. Tama ba? Yes, no? Consumer goods, goods with final use by individuals, or capital goods, or goods that are used to produce other goods. Yan. So, that's basically consumer goods and also capital goods. You have also utility. Diba? Ito yung laging sinasabi. Kaya sa board exam, wag yun ang pakawalan to, no? What would be our utility? Of course, to satisfy the needs and wants of our customers. That's our goal. That's our goal, diba? Yan, satisfactions of our client. Alright. Wealth also is very important, diba? Accumulations of resources and things that are tangible in our economy. So all of these are very important, diba? In economics. Alright. Kaya lang, diba? Because of the scarcity, minsan madaming supplies pero kulang ang demand. Tama ba? Minsan naman madaming demand pero kulang ang supply. That's the essence of scarcity. That's the essence of economics. That's why very important to consider is the law of supply and demand. Diba? In terms of this demand, no, demand is a relationship between the price of goods and the quantity demanded. Okay. It is also defined as the schedule of quantities of goods that people are willing to buy at different prices. Kasi nga, it is your demand, di ba? Quantity demanded of a good is the amount that consumers plan to buy at a particular price. Kasi nga, quantity demanded, so meaning, yan yung gusto mong bilhin, okay? Or want to buy, no? And very important also that in terms of the law of supply and demand, ceteris paribus, di ba? The higher the price of the good, alright, the smaller the quantity demanded. Take note of this one, class, ceteris paribus, diba? Ano nga sinabi? The higher the price of the good, the smaller the quantity demanded. Common sense lang. Napakataas ng presyo mo, malamang walang bibili sa'yo. Tapos ang dami pang kalaban, diba? That's the meaning of law of supply and demand. Higher prices will decrease our quantity demanded for two reasons. Of course, number one, you have a substitution effect, diba? Instead of bakit bumaba dati yung mga Coke or soft drinks. Okay? Pepsi or Coke, because of substitution effect, diba? Instead of drinking soft drinks, they drink, or they would rather drink anong tawag doon? Juice, diba? So the higher relative price raises opportunity cost of buying a good. As a result, people buy less as a good as there could be the other available goods with lower price. And of course, income effect. Kung wala tayong pera ngayon, let's say because of the pandemic, diba? The higher relative price reduces the amount of goods people can afford to buy. So, demand curve shows that the inverse, yan. Take note of this one, class. There is an inverse relationship of your quantity demanded and the price. Diba? Tumaas ang presyo, bababa ang ating demand. No? Ceteris paribus, demand curves are negatively sloped. Take note of the graph, no? It is, you have a inverse, no, relationship between the quantity demanded and the price. No? Demand curve, change in the price of the product causes the movement will demand curve, also called change in quantity demanded. Halimbawa, nagmura ka na, nag-sale ka, common sense. Kung nag-sale ka, ano mangyayari? 'Di ba? Tataas ang ating demand, 'di ba? Alright. A shift in the demand curve is called a change in demand. An increase in demand drives the demand curve to shift rightwards. Yan. So, yan ang ibig sabihin. D1, tinan mo yung D1 to D2. Alright, so meaning, shift in the demand curve is called a change in demand, an increase in demand drive. So meaning, tumataas ang ating demand. Alright, tumataas ang ating demand. So meaning, bababa ang ating presyo. Diba? So meaning, take note of this, it should be inverse relationship between quantity demanded and the price. Alright. So, what are the other things, no, that will affect our demand? Of course, again, price of substitute product. Yun nga, sabi ko, instead na uminom ng soft drinks, juice na lang. Yan. Example, if the price of pork increases, the demand for beef may increase also. Okay? So, price of substitute product. Price of complementary goods, no? Inverse. Example, if the price of gasoline increases, the demand for cars tends to decrease. Of course, hindi ka nagagamit, 'di ba? Expected future prices, direct. Alright, so if the price of the goods expected to increase the future, there will be an increase in demand. Again, expected future prices daw, direct yan. If the price of the good is expected to increase in the future, there will be an increase. Yan, di ba? Nag-anticipate na that we have an increase. So, bibili na tayo. Consumer wealth or income, direct or normal goods naman? Direct for normal goods. As the consumer income goes up, the demand for many products, of course, will increase. Ang dami natin pera, diba? Kung madami kang pera, bibili ka ng madami. Consumer wealth income also inverse siya sa inferior product. Demand for inferior product, instant noodles, sardines, increases as consumer income decreases, of course. Ano nga sabi natin? Hindi naman, ang sabi doon, kawawa naman kami, ang pagkain namin ay sardinas na lang. Yun ha. Diba? Kasi nga wala ka ng ibang choice. Of course, bibili ka ng mas inferior product. Population growth, no? Direct. An increase in the population increase the number of potential buyers. Yes, diba? An increase in the population, kung dumadami ang ating population, dadami ang ating bibili. Size of the market, direct also. As the market size expand, it will also increase your demand or your product price, Consumer taste and preference. So indeterminate. The effect depends on whether the shift in taste or preference is favorable or unfavorable to the demand of the product. Yan. So, daan to ha. Yan yung mga theoretical natin, no, in our theoretical aspect, no, in the board exam. Okay? Alright. So, what else? So, also, we have the demand, no, or the elasticity of demand. So, what else in terms of the demand, no? So, demand, of course, you have demand elasticity, no? Unitary, inelastic, and also perfectly inelastic. So, ito naman ay more on about the demand elasticity, diba? Kasi the quantity demanded degree of reactions, it will react daw in terms of the changes in price, diba? Unitary naman, it will react proportionately to changes in price, yes. While inelastic, it will react, less proportionately to the changes in the price, and perfectly inelastic is more on does not react, no, to the changes in the activity, in the level of price. So yan yun, no. So the effect of this one is increase of price increase, no, decrease in total revenue, no effect in total revenue, and increase in the revenue. Alam niyo kung bakit, 'di ba? Kasi nga ang sabi daw sa atin, 'di ba? Tayo daw ay the word here is diminishing, or the diminishing marginal utility of wealth, 'di ba? As time goes by, pag tayo daw ay nagiging successful in life, 'di ba? Ay minsan daw ay anong tawag doon? Bumababa ang ating parang yung ating ano tawag doon? Yung hindi naman greed, ha, yung parang inaasam mo na na makamit, 'di ba? The moment na makuha mo na daw 'yon, parang bumababa ang ating steam, no, to achieve that. Yun daw yung ibig sabihin nun, no, about the demand. Alright. And also, very important also is to consider about value and the paradox of value. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? So, the value, worth in peso and cents, okay? Or the paradox of the value, no, idea that necessary items may have very low value while you have unneeded, no? So, you have an unneeded items that may have the high value. Alright, yan. And also, very important is the supply. Alright, take note of this one. Very important is the supply also. Hindi lang tayo more on demand, but also more on supply. Alright. Supply is the relationship, alright, between the price of the good and the quantity supplied, no? So, and also, so supply, again, is the relationship between the price of the good and the quantity supplied, no? Quantity supplied is the amount of the good that producers plan to sell at a particular price. Again, law of supply and demand. Ceteris paribus, no? The higher the price of the good, the greater is the quantity supplied. Ito naman ay direct, di ba? The higher the price of the good, the greater is the quantity supplied. Supply curve shows the positive relationship between the quantity supplied and the price. Ceteris paribus, supply curves are positively sloped. Meaning, a change also in the price of the product causes the movement along the supply curve, also called change in quantity supplied. Ito yung baliktad doon sa demand, ha? A shift in a supply curve is called a change in supply. Now, an increase in supply drives the supply curve to shift rightwards, no, S1 to S2. Alright, again, so ito yung ating ibig sabihin ng ating supply, no? A change in the price of supply causes the movement along with a supply curve, also known as the change in quantity supplied. Alright, again, law of supply, the higher the price of the good, the greater is the quantity supplied. Okay? Yan ang ibig sabihin yan. Alright. So, what would be the effect naman, or what would be the factors that will affect the supply? So, in terms of the production, inverse naman. Alright. As production costs go up, fewer products will be supplied at the given price. Alright. If those go down, more products will be produced. Yes, again, production costs, inverse yan, ha? If the production costs go up, fewer products will be supplied at a given price. Number of producers, no, direct. An increase in a number of producers will cause an increase in the amount of goods supplied at a certain level of price. Yes. Price of substitute goods, no, inverse naman. If other products can be produced with a greater return, producers will produce those goods. So reverse naman siya sa substitute goods, no. Price of complementary naman, direct, 'di ba? A rise in the price of complementary in production increase supply and shift the supply curve rightward. Yung kanina sa substitute, of course, inverse yan, di ba? Kasi pipili sila ng panibago na product, di ba? Expected future prices direct. Expected that price will be higher for the good in the future production of the good will increase. Technology naman, direct, technological advancement increase, supply and thus shift supply curve rightward. So, if you have naman subsidiaries, no? Subsidiaries in terms of our government, direct, alright, subsidies reduce the production cost of goods and therefore increase the goods supplied, no? Tax benefit, okay, inverse, increase in taxes would raise production. So madami tayong kailangan natin i-determine about the supply and demand, and special influences government restrictions, whether ngayon, di ba, because of the pandemic, yeah? Weather conditions, innovations of the new method may affect supply of goods and services. So, unexpected storms may destroy farms and decreasing supply. So, yan yung mga yan yung mga gagawin natin about the supply and demand, no? Alright, to consider or to determine. And also, we have equilibrium. Alright, take note of this one. Yung gitna noong demand and supply, that is basically the equilibrium. Equilibrium is basically the state wherein the demand and supply are in balance. Yes, no? So equilibrium price, let's say 6 pesos, no, is the price of which the quantity demanded, and the equilibrium quantity, yan. So how do we do that? Equilibrium is a market clearing situations where no surplus or shortage exists. Kasi nga nasa gitna tayo, no? Market shortage, actual price is less than the equilibrium price, market surplus. So government influences may change the market equilibrium to the various means like taxes, diba? Subsidies, rationing, no? Regulation. Yan. So yun yung ating mga gagawin, no? Or to be considered in terms of the equilibrium. Okay? Alright. And also we have profit and market share. Sorry, hindi yung supply, ha. So very important also to consider the study of the market structures, no? The two concept of this one, the profit, of course. To an accountant, accounting profit is equals to revenue minus explicit cost. Yes, no? Sa economics naman, mga ekonomista, economic profit is equals to revenue, explicit cost, and implicit cost. Pero sa accounting is only the explicit. Okay? When the economic profit is zero, the firm is said to have a normal profit, of course, no? Explicit costs are expenses incurred to be paid, while implicit naman are opportunity cost associated with the product. Alam nyo ba yung implicit ay part siya ng ating management accounting? Yes, di ba? Opportunity cost. In economics, profit is maximized when marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost or minus, equal. Okay, yan. Market is in institutions, mechanism, or situations. And also in our market, in our economics, no, very important to consider also the 4 basic market structure, diba? Alam nyo na to, no? Pure competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and pure monopoly. So number of firms, of course, pure competitions, konti lang. Mainly naman sa monopolistic, then sa oligopoly, few. Monopoly, isa lang. Okay. Product, identical, homogeneous, no? Unique. So the price na limited, wide. Kasi nga, pag monopoly ka, bahala ka na, no? Ease of entry, very easy. Okay. Fairly easy, hard, and black. And common examples, agricultural product, and pure competitions. Monopolistic naman, mga foods, no? Oligopoly, appliances, okay? And pure monopoly, government franchises. Diba? Yung mga Meralco, diba? Competitions, of course, denotes rivalry between producers, yan, of each seek to deliver the better deal. Pure competitions, a firm demand curve is perfectly elastic, yes. Monopolistic competitions, consumers go for certain product, yes, for differentiation. Take note of the last. Oligopoly is a competitions among few. If left unregulated, diba? Oligopolistic tend to establish cartel, yes. You have also here monopsony is a market where only one buyer exists for all sellers. Napaka-short naman na, no? But I mean one seller. Okay, baka lang lumabas sa board, monopsony is the meaning. And black market, an illegal market wherein people conduct transactions at the prices usually high or forbidden by the government. Okay. So yan lang yung mga definitions of terms. Okay? We have also here economic growth, 'di ba? So we consider economic growth when occurs when nations total output increases over time. 'Di ba? Paano 'yun? All right. So of course, kaya lang yung economic growth natin, hindi naman yan lahat ay nasa peak tayo, 'di ba? There are times that we have a business cycles to consider. It refers to the cumulative fluctuations in real GDP, gross domestic product over the period of time, no? Of course, ano yung mga stages? Peak, recession, true, expansion, peak, pababa ulit, no? The highest point of the business cycle is called peak, while the lowest is true, okay? When the economy moves from peak to true, the real GDP is fallen. Siyempre, common sense. And the economy is in recession, okay? When the economy moves from true to peak, the GDP is rising, the economy is expansion. Yan. So, yan na. The recession is aka contraction, while expansion aka boom or recovery. So, mas maganda ang expansion, di ba? You have depression also. It's the prolonged form of recession, major downsizing, and the economy while conditions similar to the total recession but more severe, and long lasting. All right. So we have also here economists use or economic indicators, no, to forecast turns of the business cycle, no. So indicators of that may lead or may lag or coincide with the economic activity. So mga sample niyan ay mga leading indicators, coincident indicators, lagging. So yung mga building permits, so yun yung mga sample ng ating tinatawag na economic growth. Okay. So yan yung mga sample natin ng economic growth. Alright. So what else? Yeah. We have also here to consider division of labor. Yes. Yan. So ito yung mga sample ng ating sa economics, 'di ba? Divide labor to individual wherever do fewer tasks than before. Specialization, workers begin to do tasks they do more efficiently. Yan. And also scarcity nga, ito yung ating problem, no, with the economics, 'di ba? So created from unlimited wants and needs and unlimited resources, no? And also the basic and the biggest economic problem. All right. So I believe this is our last slide, and hopefully you learned about this economics. Again, thank you very much and see you all.